Good evening, everybody. This is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. Hope everybody's doing well. I had a special request from a subscriber to talk about HR 237. It is in the House of Representatives, January 10th of this year. It's the 118th Congress, first session, and it's a bill to repeal the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. But before we go into that, I wanted to mention something that I just received. I want to show you folks, okay? I'm going to show you in just a minute. Okay, so there was, somebody sent me a link to some postings on the Targeted Justice newsletter. So I responded and I wrote that Targeted Justice was formed in Arizona in 2017, and the public charity is not the Targeted Justice Inc., the private foundation that was formed last year in Texas. The lawsuit states that there are 450 members in one instance, and then more than 3,500 members in another sentence. Which is it? So I get a really nasty response from that lawyer, Anna Toledo, who obviously has no historical knowledge of the way these two companies operate, or the fact that Richard Lighthouse threatens lots of the female members or targeted folks. So she writes, Miss Lorraine, it's about time you stop your defamation campaign. It's unbecoming. It makes you liable for damages. It hurts TI's fight for freedom. Whatever your intentions are, it's clear they don't come from a good place. Well, Miss Toledo, I'll tell you this, and I responded to it. First of all, what kind of a lawyer are you? It's not defamation if it's true. And it's not only true, it's a fact. These are facts. Are you acting like you're acting like the police department that defames us? Are you another perpetrator? Well, this is a fact. Targeted Justice was formed in Arizona in 2017. It's on the IRS website. It's a fact. And it was a public charity. Fact. That public charity formed in 2017 is not Targeted Justice, Inc. They're two separate EIN numbers. And Targeted Justice, Inc. is a private foundation. Formed last year in Texas. And the lawsuit states, literally, in writing. It's in writing, lady. It's in writing. The lawsuit states there are 450 members in one instance, and then there are more than 3,500 members in another sentence. Which is it? Very common. I mean, this is just reading the lawsuit and seeing some discrepancies, besides the fact that you spelled Karen Stewart's name wrong. Not once, but twice. But I didn't say that. And that's a fact. It's a fact. But anyway, so I respond, excuse me, what kind of a lawyer are you? It's not defamation if it's true. My statement is a fact. I also possess some damning written threats from your board members in the past. If the truth insults you, that is your problem. So let's get on with the business of the evening. Okay? Anyway, HR 237. Now, so the question, and I have read this before. I read this last year, and I had a problem with it last year. It's very confusing. It's extremely confusing because what they're doing in this bill is they want to repeal the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Now, why would they want to do that? Okay, so first let's do a little history here, because I didn't know anything about it. So the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978, it's 50 U.S.C. 1801, they want it repealed, okay? Now, first you have to understand what this act, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance, this is the FISA. This is the FISA courts that we all fight over. These are the illegal warrants, the covert warrants that are taken out on a lot of targeted people. This is how we get in the program. Aside from the watch list, you know, once you get on the list, they move you around from list to list. But in order to get there, in order to stay there, right, they have to have these FISA warrants in order to search your house. They can't just come into your house, your apartment, without a warrant. And what these are for targeted people, these are covert, signed warrants to come into your house, surveil you, tap your phone, go into your laptop, your computer. This is what gives them access to your house. Okay, so now this bill of 1978 was actually, it's a good act. This was a good act. However, what was happening is it was being utilized covertly to get fake warrants signed behind our backs, right? Now, this bill has really nothing to do with targeted people other than what they want to do is repeal this bill. And what they're saying in this proposal is they're calling this bill, this Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, they're also calling it that it may be cited as the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act. So now, of course, I had to look that up. Okay, so first of all, the Fourth Amendment, let's discuss what the Fourth Amendment is. The Fourth Amendment is part of the Bill of Rights. It prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures. In addition, it sets requirements for issuing warrants, and warrants must be issued by a judge or magistrate. And it needs to be justified by probable cause, supported by an oath or affirmation, and must particularly describe the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Okay, this is from Wikipedia. Okay, so that's what the Fourth Amendment is, right? Now, we all know that our Fourth Amendment has been violated, right? All of the amendments have been violated. So now I went online and I noticed that the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act is different, okay? So the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act is a proposed bill. It was introduced by Senator Rand Paul on June 7, 2013, okay? So we've got the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978, which is FISA. And the FISA court is used usually against political opponents. Most of the time they have no evidence. And it violates the Fourth Amendment of probable cause. Okay, so Senator Rand Paul got involved. And he proposed this Fourth Amendment Restoration Act. And it provides that the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution shall not be construed to allow any U.S. government agency to search the phone records of Americans without a warrant based on probable cause. Okay? So now this is because phone records have been searched by government agencies, by police departments, etc., without having a warrant, or without having a warrant for probable cause. Like, why would somebody be searching your records? What's the reason? Okay, did you commit a crime? Are you accused of being committed of a crime? Are you a suspect in committing a crime? So Senator Paul proposed this in 2013. Now this is where it gets a little weird and I'm a little confused about this. But although I know that a lot of times bills get proposed and they don't get placed on the table for a long time, I know that here in Kentucky, Dolly and I proposed a bill 2 years ago, and it wasn't heard the first year, it wasn't heard the second year. So now we're going on to year number 3, and it's still dangling in the middle of nowhere. So here we go. One second, let me get to... Okay, so now I'm on congress.gov website. This is a really good website for you to search any bills, and then what happens here is they update it here. So you could see that HR 237, the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act, that's what they're calling it here, that it was introduced. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. One second. My alarm is going off. So it was introduced, but what it's saying, it was introduced here January 10, 2023, and it's being sponsored by Republican Andy Briggs in Arizona. Okay, so now Rand Paul, where'd it go here? So Rand Paul introduced the bill in 2013, and now here it's saying that was introduced in 2023. So this is where I'm a little confused here. I honestly, if somebody else is familiar with this, please chime in and let me know. But basically, this bill that was introduced here, it seems a little disturbing to me. Why would they want to repeal the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978? And I'll tell you what it reads. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's 7 pages, but it'll give you an idea of what the Surveillance Act entailed. And Edward Snowden spoke at length about this. So first it goes into the definitions of the act, what foreign intelligence information is, what it relates to, and if it's concerning a U.S. citizen. And it goes into detail about if a foreign person is being surveilled, and that foreign person is with an American person, like a U.S. citizen, and let's say collects intelligence on both people at the same time, that the intelligence of the American person, the U.S. citizen, should not be used. So what it's saying here is that, okay, one second, let me go back up here. So the term U.S. citizen means an individual who's a citizen of the United States. Duh. And then foreign intelligence information means information that relates to, and if concerning a U.S. citizen is necessary to the ability of the United States to protect against actual or potential attack or other grave hostile acts of a foreign power or an agent of a foreign power. Sabotage, international terrorism, or the international proliferation of weapons of mass destruction by a foreign power or an agent of a foreign power. So this is all about collecting intelligence of foreign agents, okay? And that's basically what FISA was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. But what's happening is they are bastardizing it and using these FISA warrants to implicate U.S. citizens. And they're doing that by collecting information from the terrorist database. They're getting covert warrants through secret courts. So now what this act wants to do is repeal the protections that were in place in 1978. These were protections that were in place in 78, and they want to repeal it in its entirety. And they're also calling it the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act. They're using that interchangeably. So that's where it gets confusing to me. So on the one hand, the Foreign Intelligence Act of 78 prevented the surveillance and use of information of U.S. citizens. They want to repeal it and are also considering it to be the same as the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act, which we just read. And the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act is a proposed bill introduced by Senator Rand Paul, and it provides that the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution shall not be construed to allow, so it's to not allow a government agency to search phone records without a warrant or probable cause. So this bill wants to repeal it. I don't think that's a good idea, unless I'm reading this wrong. So what I'll do is I'll post some links down below so you can search for it yourself. Again, I'm no expert at this at all, and I welcome anybody's feedback on this, but it doesn't seem like this proposed bill is a good thing. And it's using the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act consecutive with this FISA, the FISA Act of 1978. Seem to be using it interchangeably. So that's where it gets confusing. Because this Fourth Amendment Restoration Act is a good thing. We don't want to allow just any U.S. government agency to search our phone records without a warrant or without probable cause. And that's basically what is happening to every targeted person. Our homes are being searched. Our computers are intercepted. Our mail is intercepted. Our foods, our deliveries are intercepted. Opened often, rummaged through, damaged. I mean, this is wrong. So it is confusing to me. So if anybody has read this bill, and I will post it below. So what it is it's HR 237. Here you go. It's in the House of Representatives, January 10, 2023. And then they're calling it the short title, okay? So they want to repeal the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978. And they're calling it, this act may be cited as the Fourth Amendment Restoration Act. They're using this interchangeably. This is what's really confusing, because this Fourth Amendment Restoration Act is a good thing. We want that. And repealing this FISA protection, it just doesn't seem like a good thing to me. But again, I will post all the links for you to be the judge, and perhaps we can have a discussion about this. And I hope everybody's having a good night. And thank you for all the comments. And yes, the guinea hens, the fowl, they did return. They were gone for more than 2 hours. It was a little concerning because we had some very bad weather approaching. Like right now, we have an ice storm. It is hailing. My porch is covered in little balls of hail. and it's getting progressively colder. The last time I looked, it was 29 degrees. So the birds were gone for more than 2 hours. And, you know, a lot of times they'll walk down the block, they'll go into the outer fields, and usually I can see them and hear them. And it was getting late already. It was 5 o'clock when they started to come back. They were gone for 2 hours. That is very unusual for them. They'll go for a half an hour, maybe even an hour, but I'll hear and see them. But I was walking around the property calling them. I couldn't find them at all. And then suddenly they all start falling down the hill. I mean, you saw in the video. But anyway, also, it is now February 1st. Happy birthday, February babies. Again, you know, anybody that's got a birthday in February, please let me know. And we're going to have, I guess for Valentine's Day, I'll select 1 or 2 people. I still haven't decided where to go. This has been happening a lot, folks. My screen will just totally, look at that. Did you see? Everything just totally disappeared. Gone. Totally gone. But, so for Valentine's Day, I'd like to select 1 or 2 people and send one of those little mini art cards that I have. And we'll do that over the next couple of days. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it. If people want to, you know, post a comment down below that, yes, you know, I would like a Valentine, you can do that. Like, just write the word Valentine. And maybe we'll work it that way. So when I post this, if you're interested in being selected for a Valentine, an ACOU, an ACEO, these are original art cards, hand painted, not by me. Please leave a comment down below and just write the word Valentine, and I'll just collect your names and we'll go from there. Hope everybody's having a good night. This is Lorraine signing off for now.